All right, Shalom, it's your brother Shamar from the Phoenix camp. With that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. Jump right into the lesson. This is Revelation 13:11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake like a dragon." Now that beast is talking about basically the Democrat republics. Those are the two horns of the beast of America, man. It says he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake of the dragon. That's speaking of he spoke very harshly. He spoke very, very rough. You know, that goes to the draconian laws, because that word draconian means of great severity. You know, that was from I believe from it was a ruler named Draco, and he enforced a written code upon the people. And part of that written code was small offenses. For small offenses, you know, they got heavy punishment for small offenses. And that's the time that we're living in right now. You know, they're to the point that they can come against you for not wearing a mask. They're gonna get to the point they can come against you for not taking a jab, for not taking an inoculation. Heavy offenses. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, man. You know, the laws that he's gonna bring out, that he's brought out, they're already set. All he got to do is enforce them. It's gonna be so there's no freedom of speech. There's no you know, that means, well, basically freedom of speech was invented, was set up for the Israelites. You know, and they're already talking about coming to your home and taking away your Bibles. So that's draconian law, right? That's a harsh, severe law. So they doing all this and other things that they plan to do. It's all this to go against you Israelites, man. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. These are the beast speaking as a dragon, man. Or speaking of those draconian measures or draconian law. With that, I'm gonna get Matthew 7:15, because this is the world that we're currently living in, man. Scripture says to measure the times diligently. This is Matthew 7:15. And it says, Salak. I'll start at verse 13. It says, "Enter ye into the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction." That's Christianity at large. That's going with these this Edomites' fashions, ways, and laws. You know, because if you take that jab, if you take that inoculation, you're setting yourself up for destruction, man. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, because he wants everybody to comply to his program. And many there be which go thereat, and that's exactly what's going to happen. That's what exactly you see happen. You know, they have no problem with these Edomites taking that jab. You know, you blacks, Latino, Native Americans, you're hesitant about it, but ultimately you're going to take it to self-sustain yourself, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way. That requires sacrifices. That requires putting yourself in an uncomfortable position. That requires that you don't live for yourself, man, which lead us unto life, and few there be that find it. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing. You know, so they got these false teachers set up, man, to tell you that they go ahead, that the jabs are good to go, to tell you that the microchip is not the MOTB, to tell you that there's no Jacob's trouble. They come in sheep clothing. They're telling you everything's gonna be all right, man. They're telling you everything's gonna be cool. Don't worry about it. But inwardly, they are ravening wolves. Let's get that word ravening wolves, man. Let's get that word ravening. Ravenous. Let's get that word ravening, the strong. It says extortioner or robber. That's what they are. They come to take your gain, man. Because it's only to benefit themselves. What they teach and what they tell the mass of the people is to benefit their pockets, man, because they're paid off ultimately by these upper elites. It says, "You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles?" So it only makes sense to see who's doing this and what they're benefiting from, and you'll see that they're wrong, man, and they're off. You shall know them by their fruits. You can know them by their works. You know them by the things that they do. Now, when in society has it been good for the so-called black, so-called Latino, so-called Native American? When did it ever benefit him to trust the U.S. government, man? And the answer is never. You know, that's a perfect example that the Gadites, your so-called Native Americans. They made treaties with this devil, and the devil broke them all. So even so, every good tree brings forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree brings forth corrupt. But it's like, but a corrupt tree brings forth evil fruit, man. So you see what's going on, but our people are too blind to see that, man. Instead, I'm gonna get 2 Corinthians 11:14. It's a real quick lesson. 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. And it says, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light, man. So he's coming to you, thinking that everything's for your benefit, everything's for your good. That he wants to give you first dibs on health, wealth, and security. But actually, he's just a devil. He's a ravening wolf. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing that if his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. I say again, let no man think me a fool, if otherwise yet the fool receive me, that I may boast myself a little. But the point of it is that in verse 19, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light, man. So be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked, man. So then I'm going to get Salakia. Romans, Salakia, never mind. I'll show up. Romans 16 and 18. This is Romans 16 and 18. And it says, for they that are such serve not the Lord Meshach Yahushai, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. And that's exactly what these false teachers are set up to do. I'll start at verse 17. It says, now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions. So they're going contrary to the doctrine. Let's get that word mark. Note them, so be observant of them, of who these people are. Let's get the word divisions. The dissension, division. Let's get that word dissension. This is the word dissension. In the Webster 28, it says, disagreement in opinion, usually disagreement which is violent, producing warm debates or angry words, contention in words, strife, discord, quarrel, breach of friendship and union, debates, dissension, upwards, or thy joy. Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension with them. So that's basically going against the doctrine, man. Let me go back to the scriptures. So I'm going to go back again. It says, for now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions or dissensions and offenses contrary to the doctrine. So they argue against the doctrine. They cause offenses against the doctrine. And what doctrine is that? The true doctrine is taught by the elders and apostles, a great millstone, because great millstone is telling you don't take the jab. Great millstone is telling you the MOTB is the microchip. Great millstone is telling you there is going to be Jacob's trouble. And these other camps ain't doing that. It's not just because we're great millstone, because the spirit is working with great millstone, man. Great millstone is just a title. But the truth, the 100% truth, as received by the apostles and elders, is directly from the Most High himself, man, if you can receive it. Then I'm going to get 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. And it says, I'll start at verse 1. It says, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Meshach Yahushai, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, that the day of Yahushai is at hand. So it says, that you be soon not shaken in mind or troubled, man. So you got to have a strong mentality. You got to have a strong mind, because they're going to say a lot of things. They're going to do a lot of things. Only a strong-minded man is able to resist in those days. But ultimately, the Lord got to be dealing with you to begin with. Verse 3 says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And we see that falling away every day, man. You see the falling away of America. You see the falling away of Esau's power structure. You see the falling away of Esau's monetary system. You see the falling away of Esau's political power. You see the falling away of Esau's military power. We see the falling away of all those things. It says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That's talking about Esau, Edom. So ultimately, he's going to be revealed for the devil that he is, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so he is a God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And that's ultimately what that MOTB is, to set himself as the Most High, man. That's why he wants to have supreme control over every aspect of your life. And that's what that ship is about. That ship's connecting you to the internet, which connects you to his power structure, man. Because that's the power structure he's setting up right now, is the internet. Elder Tahar always talks about the Internet of Things. That's the next power structure, the next form of rulership, the next form of control and he's setting up upon planet Earth, man. With that, I'm going to get Daniel 7:25. I'm going to close it out on that. You Daniel 7:25, giving the scriptures of the devil. It says, he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Why? Because the man of the Lord, going against his devil, not falling in line with the devil's system to obey the Lord, it's going to cause much aggravation and much weariness and much trouble to the saints of the Lord. Persecution. He shall persecute the saints. So that's going to cause much persecution to the man of the Lord, man. Because we're not going to bow down to it. It's going to make your life difficult. That's why the scripture said that he that seeks to save life shall lose it, man. So we got to go through that persecution, that trial, that affliction. It says he shall wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times and laws. And that's what he's doing right now. He's making backdoor deals. He's making backdoor decrees. He's changing all kinds of legislations. He's changing all kinds of things to go against you, to go against the man of the Lord. It said to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand unto a time and times, divided times. So he's going to have that rulership in effect. That draconian measures are going to be in effect, man. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it unto the end. And as the kingdom and dominion, the greatest kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. And that's what they're afraid of, man. They're afraid of us coming into power. The true men of the Lord come into power and ruling in righteousness under Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. With that being said, man, just a real quick lesson. Most High will and hope was edifying. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kakadash, Kahala Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.